Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle, and welcome to this holiday edition of Murder Mystery Monday. I'm drinking some tea this morning from a Christmas mug, and I'm drinking some tea that I got for Christmas. It's a passion fruit black tea, and it's so good. Okay, the mystery that I have for you today is a Christmas mystery, and I actually just finished reading this one. So it is from my collection, and it is definitely a backlist book, but it's one that I've just read, and it is The Christmas Egg by Mary Kelly. This is even taglined as a seasonal mystery. This is part of the British Library Crime Classics series, and this was a mystery written in 1958. I've never read anything by Mary Kelly before, but the synopsis intrigued me, so let's start there. London, 22nd December. Chief Inspector Brett Nightingale and Sergeant Beddoes have been called to a gloomy flat off Islington High Street. An elderly woman lies dead on the bed and her trunk has been looted. The woman is Princess Olga Kurykin, an emigre from Civil War Russia, and her trunk is missing its glittering treasure. Out in the dizzying neon and festive chaos of the capital, a colorful cast of suspects abound. The downtrodden grandson, a plutocratic jeweler, Bolsheviks with unfinished business. Beddoes and Nightingale have their work cut out in this tightly paced, quirky, and highly enjoyable jewel of the mystery genre. This includes a introduction that was written by, I believe, Martin Edwards. Yes, and so there was a couple of interesting things in here that I wanted to read to you. The Christmas Egg, first published in 1958, is an unconventional Christmas crime novel by an unconventional writer. Mary Kelly was one of the most talented British novelists to write crime fiction in the post-war era, coming to the fore just before P.D. James and Ruth Rendell appeared on the scene. Having risen rapidly to the heights, she abandoned the genre after publishing a mere 10 books over the span of 18 years. Her disappearance from the scene was as mysterious as it was complete. She did not publish a novel after 1974, even though she lived until 2017. This was her third book. Like its predecessors, A Cold Coming and Dead Man's Riddle, it featured Detective Chief Inspector Brett Nightingale. In the run-up to Christmas, he is confronted by the puzzle of the death of the elderly Princess Olga Kurykin, who had fled her native Russia in the wake of the revolution. But this is not an elaborate whodunit in the tradition of Agatha Christie or Dorothy L. Sayers, nor is it a police procedural novel of the kind that John Creasy had popularized in the 1950s. Kelly's principal focus is on the study of character and on the idiosyncrasies of a British society. And so, yeah, this one was good. It's definitely not an Agatha Christie style mystery, and so it's good to know going into a book what kind of a mystery you're getting. The back says it's tightly plotted. No, it does say. It says tightly paced, and that's true, but it's a slower pace. It is not a fast-paced book. I couldn't read it at the same speed that I normally read mysteries. I had to read it a lot slower, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the type of book it is. It was very well written. The mystery itself was interesting. I gave this one 3 stars. I didn't love it. It's not the type of mystery that I love, that I read a lot of, but I am very glad that I read it. Here's the first sentence. Oh, and I liked what she did. Instead of a whole bunch of chapters, she just had parts. Part 1 was December 22nd, and then the last part is December 24th. So that was good. Here's the first sentence. Princess Olga Kurykin was lying on her back in her bed, a narrow iron contraption with a hard mattress. So, like the back said, her body is discovered, and so they're sent in to investigate why did she die and what was stolen. And she had some treasures in her apartment that she brought with her from Russia, including a Fabergé egg that was quite valuable. Here's an example of Mary Kelly's writing. Nightingale was silent. The words dropped like stones into the tank of his memory, disturbing the reflections of his past, which rose, jostled, and sank, undisciplined by chronology. A girl with a yellow coat and a yellow switch of hair, sitting on a bombed space beside a shop during a sunny lunch hour. A velvet tray of glitter in a shop window, and a woman looking at it, her back turned to him, her black hair twisted in a coil. Christina, his wife, before she was his wife. The girl with the yellow hair braided round her head, seen from across the street, leaning into that same window to remove some delicate object. One thing that I liked about the character of Inspector Nightingale is his interest in music. We got a little bit of it in this book, but not a ton. And he is part of an opera group. I don't know, it must be an amateur opera group. I found that really interesting. And his wife is part of the music world as well. And so if I find any more of her books, I'd like to read them to discover a bit more about Nightingale and his wife and their music connection. I thought that was great. So for today's recommendation for Murder Mystery Monday, I have The Christmas Egg by Mary Kelly. Have you ever read Mary Kelly? Have you ever heard of her? Let's chat in the comment section down below. Also, let's chat Christmas mysteries. Do you like mysteries that are set at Christmas, around Christmas? So yeah, let's chat in the comment section down below, and I will see you for another video soon. Bye.